All right. We appear to be live. We've done it. Cool. What's up, everyone? It's FRGT we got popping up here. FRGT, forget or freight. Interesting. I don't love these $1 stocks, to be completely honest with you, but it's something moving. It's top gapper this morning besides Seminar, SEMR. And the problem with that one, SEMR, is really that it's just a buyout or acquisition. I think Adobe bought them or something like that. Morning, Nathan. Morning, gang. You know, I was what's this? What did EPWK do? Whole lot of nothing. Yeah. There we go. What's up, MMFDV? What's up, Ills, Colorado, Nicara, Steven, Eric. I'm Orb. Thanks for always being here. Of course. How do you trade sub-dollar stocks with trade funders? It doesn't show fraction of cent. The same way you normally would. You just buy in, and it's still just going to fill you at like the price that it's trading at. I trade sub-dollar stocks on Trade Funder. Nothing different. Level 2 is just slightly different, but again, I have multiple screens up, so I'm always seeing level. I rarely use my broker for level 2s. I use my level 2s on my charting platforms. So I see the whatever the level 2 is at, click buy, that's where I get filled. Morning, Fernanda. Morning, Martin. Morning, Deborah. We got Marwin from Colorado. We got from Charlotte. I need more coffee or espresso, whatever's in here. What's going on, Dark Angel? What's up, Neville? Tech, Wesley, Frank. We got Tex AK. Is that Arkansas or Texas? Or are you from Texarkana? I know my geography. Denver, what's up? Denver in the house. We got Knoxville in the house too. We got San. Oh, we got Colombia. Beautiful. Amazing. Sweet. Worth the flight. Made $500 on EPWK. Said felt like a slow day, so bought 2,500 from 180, sold it 2. Beautiful. Love that. It's a great trade. Phenomenal trade. Texas. Okay, cool. We got Nestfield from Nestor, New York. We got Fort Worth in the house and no nug today. No, but honestly, you want to see a crazy chart. Actually, I haven't looked at it in a few days, so maybe it has fallen off a cliff, but this thing is kind of nuts. Where are we at? Open a new tab. Let's open this in a new tab. Still at $60. What a crazy chart. This has been a nutty recovery. We go to the daily. I mean, pretty impressive. It bounced all the way back up to 100. So, not bad. We got Colorado in the house. We got Sydney. We got Oklahoma. We got Alabama. Good morning. This is my first time on your platform. I'm new. My name is Natoya in New York. Amazing. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. We do this just about every day. I say just about because I try my best, but sometimes I don't make it. So I'm glad you could make it here today. We have a good time. Today, this is going to shock you guys. It's going to be really surprising. Not a big watch today. No big watches today. This has been a really slow pre-market. I get up and watch pre-market, just about every day. Didn't see a whole lot out there today. This was one of our slower pre-markets, unfortunately. Not that that's always a bad thing. FRGT definitely has some potential. The problem is, at least for me, this is going to need to hold up. It's going to need to prove to me that it can hold up into the market open. It's got a lot of resistance at 130. We've been really struggling to break out of this 105 area. So, I hope it can hold up. I would love to see it hold up. I'm just not super convicted in this right now, but we at least do have some movement. That's the good news. Anyhow, Kazia is a no for me. STEC is a no for me. EPWK is a weak maybe. It's a weak maybe. I could envision this being one that we break like 220 and then just slam, sadly. I'm not very bullish on that one. AZI was good until it wasn't. But yeah, again, AZI faded too much. EPWK, in my opinion, faded too much. FRGT just needs to prove itself. So here's the problem I see on FRGT's chart. Other than the fact that once upon a time, this was the equivalent of $6,800 a share, and now it's at 97 cents. Lots of daily chart resistance. Lots and lots and lots of daily chart resistance, right? We got our first bit right here in the 130s. This low, then again here at like 140. So 130s to 140s, right in this area. And then we've got more up here at that $2 level. It's just going to be really hard for this thing to run. And then after that, of course, our next bit of resistance really isn't until like $4. So for whatever reason, it can break out through there and hold. We got something, but again, the big problem right now is going to be this 130, 140 level. It's got a lot of resistance in there, and we can see it really doesn't want to run, right? We look at it intraday in pre-market here. Those drawings, not that they show up now anyways, but we're getting these big swipes up right over $1, slam. Swipe up over $1, slam. So, if anything, this probably is more weighted to the short side. And those really are, those are our top gappers. AZI, FRGT, and again, I don't like KZia. I don't like STEC, not at all. And then EPWK, all of which are backside. Now, I should mention we do have a contender, and that's SGBX. This is a decent daily chart. It's decent. It's not great, but it's decent. We're breaking out. I don't really like gap up breakouts right out of the open. So this is going to be something I'm keeping an eye on through the rest of the day here. But we got this kind of 4 to 430 breakout level, and we really don't have any real resistance until about 530. So we've got roughly $1 a share to run from the breakout level. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this, but it's got to, for me, I'd like to see a dip and rip on this more than anything. That could be one way to take a trade on it out of the open. Again, it needs to prove itself. So we're going to give this one a little bit of time. FRGT, I'm going to see if we get a breakout attempt here. Of pre-market highs. Everything's dipping out of the open. SGBX 390s. FRGT is breaking out of its pre-market highs by a little. A lot of selling there at 105. Oof. Lots of sell and lots of recovery. At that dollar area, they're just tough on both sides. Long, short, it really doesn't matter. We're still holding near a buck, though. Even after all this kind of wonky action, we're still holding near a buck. Lots of volume coming through. Lots and lots of volume. I'm not going to buy a breakout of this. Again, it needs to prove itself first. It needs to prove to me that it wants to actually trap shorts. That's the big thing for me. Looking weak. Again, we practice patience, folks. We practice patience. Got a weird kind of lower volume mover. Again, it's got a lot of daily chart resistance, unfortunately. OMH. Very low volume now that I look at it. Too low a volume. I like watching these, but again, there's just so much resistance up at like 180. So it's going to run 40 cents. And unfortunately, with stocks like these, they used to be way more liquid. They're not as liquid anymore, just in kind of the current market. And so the problem with that really comes down to you just take massive slippage when you're wrong. So they're not worth it unless the reward is very high. But again, the kind of best case reward in this scenario I see is probably around $2. And then you're just running into so much resistance. All right, FRGT holding that dollar level, chilling around 102, 101, 102. It's holding up. That's all you can ask for. A lot of volume here too, though. Again, I don't love seeing all that volume coming through. Main reason being it's churning all of this volume trying to break out, and it can't break out. So what that means is that you're getting a lot of people buying here, and it's barely able to move. So what happens when we try to sell off? Now we're trying to break out. We got highs, I believe, at 106, 108. 108 is our highs. This has got to really prove. I can't just buy a breakout on this right now. It's really needs to prove with time that this is going to be something that's worth my money. And so what I mean for that is it's going to need to break out of highs, then run, and then show some form of a short trap. So it needs to do a fake breakdown. It needs to do probably a fake breakdown or a fake high a day break, and then we re-break it. But time, remember, folks, time is the best indicator. The longer something holds up, the more likely it is to work. But we are chilling here. Again, it's just trading so much volume at these prices that it's like, come on, why can't we break out? What seems to be the officer problem? What are we doing here? Bryce, are you still working on your semi truck mobile trading command center? Yeah. I mean, I'm done with it. We're done. It's built. It's just kind of cold. I don't have a heater in it yet. That's something I wanted to work on when I got home. I unfortunately probably cannot do that myself. I could try. I need the help of my brother, and he's gone for the holidays. So probably won't get done until early winter, like January-ish. Yeah, you can just go into my YouTube channel. I got videos of it. So it's just Trader Bryce on YouTube. Yeah, go on there. I've got videos of it. Actually, I got to post my last video. I keep forgetting to do that. Like kind of the whole build out officially done. But yeah, it's done. It's good. Can I look at ZSPC? Let me look at it on a different chart first. No. I hope it works. I hope it does something, but no, I see effectively nothing there. That's what we call a nothing burger. It could, it's anything can happen, but that is a daily chart I would not even consider touching, not consider looking at, nothing. There's no reason for it to move in my eyes. And sadly, FRGT is just failing. Just failing. I would love to see this retest. I would love to see this come back. I don't think it's necessarily dead because it never really trapped longs. It never broke out. So that's, it's got that going for it. Weird movers starting, super low volume, ZYXI. It's not an OTC. That's a good start. Ooh. What am I looking at here? ZYXI. What do we got? A daily chart on that? Oh, it's just an exhaustion bounce play. Yeah, I'm not gonna get involved in that one, unfortunately. Or probably fortunately for that matter. Let's bring it back to FRGT. We're recovering here. Again, this is a good start. It's a good start. A lot of sideways action. Let me throw up VWAP here. No, don't break $1. So I've just kind of tested VWAP a few times. To me, nothing special yet. SGBX, I completely took my eye off it. Oh, there was the dip and rip. There was the dip and rip. Oh, I took my eye off it. For anyone who did not take their eye off of it, congratulations. That was a beautiful trade. 420 straight to 470. Gorgeous. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that for a dip and rip. Well, we'll keep an eye on this too. I'm going to get rid of OMH spiked a little bit. Take that off the screen. Take AZI off the screen at this rate. Take EPWK off the screen at this rate. We got FRGT SGBX. So SGBX is quickly becoming a top contender at this rate. Again, it's, I say this a lot. This is a concept I taught in the workshop that I did not too long ago. The best stocks will prove to have multiple entries. The best stocks will not just be a one-hit wonder. So, was that real? I think that was real. FRGT, that's a gnarly rejection there. So far. No, it's holding up again. Back to 105. SGBX, we got a pretty clear breakout level here through 462. I'd love to see a little fake dip through the 440 and then rip right back up for a breakout buy. All right. I've got an idea. I've got a trade idea. I don't love it, but it's better than nothing. We'll see if it's better than nothing. It actually might not be. MTC setting up some weird consolidation here after a pretty important failed breakdown on the daily chart, right? So we get this failed breakdown level. We get this kind of trend break right here. Get this trend breakdown and we start recovering. This is a little bit intriguing. A little bit. It's definitely something I want to keep my eye on. The intraday ain't bad. Very low volume. That's going to be the one main issue with it here. We're getting this kind of light consolidation. 230 isn't the worst spot in the world. FRGT, okay. So we're breaking out the fake breakout right now. We're breaking out the fake breakout. That's a good start. So now what I'm looking for is just an entry condition. I'm looking for some kind of consolidation, some kind of, again, ideally some kind of consolidation over VWAP at this rate. Would be my ideal. So at least we had something on watch. MTC still just kind of going sideways. It's probably too low volume for me, unfortunately, as much as I would love to take that. ZYXI, I wrote that one off completely. This thing is going nuts. It's up 80%. Volume's ripping. Nice little consolidation break there. It's about to halt up. 75 cents is the halt level. We're getting some volume into this thing now. That is quite impressive. That is quite impressive. $78 is the new halt level. We're kind of just ran straight into resistance here. Yeah, we just ran. I mean, it's SSR is on it as well. It's probably playing a slight role in this. I would love to see this thing halt up. I'd love nothing more than to see this halt up. Get some action going, you know? Get some freaking action going, baby. The daily chart on the daily chart on this thing is quite wonky now. I mean, we just ran straight up into resistance here, where we've got this kind of 75-cent level. Not to say it can't go higher, but I mean, we do have a lot of daily chart resistance. This really is more of a bounce play than it is a breakout play. So expectations have got to be somewhat limited. But again, love to see action here. Love to see some action. Maybe this heats other stuff up. FRGT, not the consolidation we're looking for. That just trapped a lot more. Oh, yeah, halt down. That just trapped a lot more longs than it did shorts. I can tell you that much. Yeah, FRGT, unfortunately, that's a no-go. SGBX, so far a no-go, but not to say it's completely nothing. Not to say there's no opportunity there, but for now, that's probably going to be an avoid. ZYXI, we just got a lot of volume on this failed bounce candle, this candle right here. I don't love seeing that, to be honest with you. Like the highest volume candle was just this little consolidation at 70 cents. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. Yeah, and I mean, we're starting to get this fade off here. Now, VWAP, this could very well bounce off of VWAP. Where are we? Where's VWAP here? Well, it's okay. It's breaking under VWAP. We'll see. I mean, this is the area where we'd probably expect to see a bounce down 10 cents a share off of its high there. KZia, yeah. Again, I went over my KZia thoughts. I don't like it. I don't like it enough, sadly. ZYXI, are we just going to round trip? Are we not even going to offer another trade on this? That definitely seems to be the motto lately. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm not so sure about this one. Woo! We are just getting smoked. Can't even try to bounce. Churning a lot of volume down here too. Yeah, unfortunately, so again, this is technical analysis here we're talking about, but when I see a candle like this right here, right? We make this big blow off move on very heavy volume. And then we get this candle where we trade an all-time high volume and barely can move. I don't like to see that at all. Not what I like to see. That to me is a bad sign. It's a bad sign to me because it's telling me that all these people are buying, hoping for higher, and they cannot freaking get it. They just can't get it. Yeah, and once again, we're just completely fading off here. Can you imagine this just goes red? From plus 100% to red? I've seen it happen plenty of times. Would not be the first time. Wouldn't surprise me either. Nothing surprises me anymore. All right, we're trying to get a little bit of a bounce here on ZYXI, Zixi. Oh, ooh, FRGT, we trapped the shorts. This is the trap we're looking for. Now, here's the thing. The range on this is quite gnarly. Like, just putting that out there. That's a trap. That is a trap. Shorts have officially been trapped. I wouldn't say, I mean, you know, we go back and forth. I know I just went back and forth a few times on this. Longs were kind of trapped. Shorts are very trapped, right? Because here's my thesis for this. This is getting interesting now. Now, the risk is going to be pretty wide, right? The 111, the breakout buy here. But I do think at this point, there is at least a scalp opportunity on this. And I say this because we had already gotten this fake pre-market high break right here. We got the fake pre-market high break. Then we had another fake breakout right here at 110. And as we broke through that, it wasn't great, but we had two fake breakout attempts that, well, didn't work. But this low of day break here. This is a massive short trap, right? The same way that longs buy breakouts, shorts short breakdowns. And this to me is really intriguing because now this was our only fake low a day breakdown. This wasn't like our first attempt. To me, this is a very good sign. Again, the risk is pretty wide here. It's 20 cents a share. I would like to see this dip and then recover. So we've got a higher low to risk off of, but truth be told, I will probably look to take some through 112. If it doesn't dip, I'm just going to take small size with a wide risk and really look for more of a scalp trade. This won't be a massive risk to reward trade, but it should have some juice to it. Now, again, we've got a lot of resistance in the 130s, so it's probably going to be more of a one-to-one scalp opportunity. It's not going to be a massive scalp. I don't think anyways, but I do think it's worth keeping an eye on through this 112 for a scalp opportunity. That's my take on it. We'll see. This is looking good. This is looking good. ZYXI, unfortunately, I don't see a trade on this happening. Right? Look how much volume we're getting now and how small it's moving versus how big it was moving on the same volume earlier. To me, that's kind of an indication that the move is probably done. SGBX, also a contender here, by the way. Also a contender. I like this trend break. We're setting up for a nice little trend break here. We're getting a little fake trend, maybe a fake trend breakdown. Nope. Okay. Well, that's why we wait for the trends to break. This is why patience is so important, folks. We don't want to just rush into trades. Let them set up. Let them prove that they want to work. Let them prove that they're your friend. The trend is your friend. And right now, I know that we just made a mess on this chart. So let's go back to the real levels that matter at this point. Fake low day breakdown right here. And I would say at this point, we're going to use pre-market highs as a little bit of a support level. So we're building in this range here. Now, if you want to get aggressive, there are two ways I think to take this trade here. Risk on 104, by the way, I'm getting ready to buy. A risk on this 104 low or 105 low, whatever that is, 105. Lower odds of it working well, but not to say it can't. Or a wider risk on low of day with higher odds of not getting stopped out, but going to just naturally be a lower return, a lower risk to reward trade. Couple ways to go about that one. Okay, we got a new low setting right here at 103. So again, whatever this low ends up being is what, again, I would consider to be that the level to risk off of. That's my take, of course, but that's just the way I see it. This is looking quite spicy though. This is what I like to see in a short setup, or in a long setup rather, for a short trap. So definitely promising. MTC, how we looking? We're still going sideways. Again, I probably can't take this, but it'll be fun to watch. No way! Oh, guys, we have a fun one. I mean, it's not a trade. I think it's an OTC, actually. Beanie, the old MULN. Oh, it's not hardly moving. That's a bummer. You guys remember Muln? Into a daily chart. This is what the daily chart looked like. It's quite bad. Okay, FRGT. We're pushing 108 here. This candle is not real. That wick is not real. The low is 103. FRGT, patience, patience, patience. This looks really good. This looks really good. Finally, we've got something that looks good, guys. Get excited. Get excited. I'm saying get excited. It's going to like break down. It's going to completely fail. Oh, MTC. I'm going to get rid of this. Again, it actually doesn't look bad. Getting rid of OMH. That's ugly. SGBX. Probably a watch for later. I'll keep it on my screen just for later, or just in case anything happens, but probably nothing there. As we say, a nothing burger. Okay, come on. Come on. Sorry if I'm not reading the chat. It's because I'm focused here waiting for FRGT. Again, my plan on this is going to be a breakout through that 112, just a risk on 103 at this point. I'm just going to risk that low here so I can take a little bit more size. Not going to go crazy into this because, again, we still do have a lot of resistance. There's no doubt about that. Okay, took some right there. 113 was my fill. Gonna risk 103, risking 10 cents a share. I'd love to just get out in the 130s, a quick spike. Hopefully this isn't another fake out. Again, if I don't, that sucks. Just faking out both sides now. I'm staying patient. The other answer here, then probably the way this works better, is a risk on 92. It's just I can't take any size into it. I would rather take a loss with tighter risk. FRGT, just do your thing. That's a lot of volume on that failed breakout attempt, but we saw how this worked earlier, right? Fake breakout here on high volume. Unfortunately, what led to it working was a breakdown first. So I'm hoping we don't repeat there. But I chose my risk level. So it's on me if this doesn't work again. That's why I kind of gave two options there. So this is not, by the way, a lot of you guys have asked me in videos like, how do I choose how to size into a trade? This is one I'm not taking crazy size on. I don't want to take crazy risk on this. Main reason being, well, the intraday looks good. The daily is still crap. The daily still sucks. It's not a good daily chart. So I'm not going to go crazy risking the farm. This is not an A+ setup. It's a trade that offered, I think, a good entry, but these are not ones where I can take massive risk on just because, again, right, we zoom out. The answer, by the way, is always zoom out. Always zoom out. Okay, whoops, we don't need a big circle. By the way, I've just got a hard stop on. Again, like our 130s, 140s are just so heavy with resistance that it can only run so far. It can only run so far. The same problem with ZYXI in a way, right? Like this can only run so far. And it topped out. Like this is why I really couldn't get serious about a long on it. Unless we set up, but again, like it's naturally has a lot of resistance. So FRGT, while I am looking for a swipe into the 130s, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So I base position sizing and risk, my dollar risk, off of a couple of factors, but they all really start with the big picture, the daily chart. How far can this run? I won't pass up a trade if it's there, but in the same breath, I'm not going to get overly aggressive with my risk if the daily chart doesn't line up for it. SGBX, on the other hand, if this does set up, this has room to run, through into the fives. So it's got a little bit more room. It's a stronger daily chart. It's still not an A+ daily chart in my mind, but it's better. It's definitely better than FRGT. This is just a day one gapper, which unfortunately is starting to fail. This, however, is not a stock in the same breath that I would short. Mainly because, again, like we're getting failed high-a-day breaks. We're getting failed breakdowns. To me, even though the daily chart is weighted to the short side, big picture, it simply doesn't have the sauce for either. because we're getting intraday failed confirmations on the short side, but we're also not getting strong long signals either. Getting slightly stronger long signals on the intraday. All right. Well, I'm just going to wait. I've got my stop in. So at this point, just kind of waiting here. Yeah, well, guys, this probably brings a good time. Again, right now it's just a patience game, trying to let the trade work. Not going to try to force anything. And the last thing I want to do right now is, are we going to get stopped out? Should I have chosen a different risk level? This is why risk management. This is why risk management makes you cough. No, this is why risk management's important, though. Like for me, anyways, right? We were talking about this literally yesterday. You do not need to go in because I'm about to talk about Trade Funder here, guys. Here comes stop out. When you go into a trade, you do not need to risk the farm. Okay, you really don't need to risk the farm on any given trade. You know, with Trade Funder, you've got $1,000 of daily risk. If you are not yet consistent, I just got stopped out. If you're not yet consistent, there is no need to go be taking big risk on any one trade, especially trades that don't deserve it. This is where you'll learn over time, using your own stats, using your own trades, which trades are worthy of risk, which trades are worthy of sizing into. So it really is just a matter of practice and patience, but you should not be like, I took a loss there. Where I was going with that story is that I'm not emotional about that loss at all because I accepted the risk before I took the trade. I purposely sized in a bit smaller just because this isn't an A+ trade. And you get that with time, you get that with experience and coming to these streams and understanding what makes a good trade, what doesn't make a good trade. And losses are part of the game, right? But if you can keep them small so you can have outweighted winners when you're right, man, that's really how you do it. That's the name of the game, is just waiting for the right setups to have the really strong wins on. That's what I personally, it's just a patience game. The market hasn't been anything crazy lately, so there's no need to go out there and try to force it on, honestly, a subpar trade. It had good, I'm not mad about it. I think it had good potential, but I'm not going to sit here and try to force a lot of money on a trade that isn't worth my time. The market will get hotter. We are going to have really good opportunities. And truth be told, FRGT could still work. I told you there were probably 2 risk levels to this trade. Looks like I picked the wrong one. Maybe I should have sized down even more and had a wider risk than I've got right now. But I say all this because this is just a part of the process. Understand when you go into a trade what your loss is going to be, what you're comfortable with so that you don't get emotional about a trade. And I promise you, things get significantly easier. They get significantly simpler. I see a lot of traders who they cut their losses, or they cut their trades too early because they didn't want to accept the dollar risk they gave themselves. And that's just not a recipe for success. So I say all this because I'm going to go over here and talk about Trade Funder. And Trade Funder, I think it's phenomenal because it kind of forces you to have risk management, and it forces risk management on you, which is the single most important part of trading that you can do. And so I'll scroll down here. For those of you, by the way, I'll actually drop this link in the chat real quick. Just go ahead and drop that in the chat. If you are watching on Twitter, you'll need to hop on over to YouTube to grab that link. The link is also a banner across the screen right now. But as I was saying, right? So for those of you guys who don't know what Trade Funder is, I saw a few people in here telling me it was their first time on one of these webinars. So again, welcome in. Trade Funder is the reason that I'm here with you guys. They partnered with Stocks to Trade, which is the channel you're watching on. Stocks to Trade, we're a trading education company. We've been helping traders navigate the markets and really find success. We've had an amazing community of traders come up through here over the last few years. Stocks to Trade's been around for over a decade now. So, but back to Trade Funder, they're a prop firm. And what that means is they're going to give you access to trading capital. In exchange, they're going to take a small profit split. One of the best profit splits I've personally seen in the industry. It's an 80-20 profit split. Really phenomenal. Meaning if you make 10 grand, you're going to keep $8,000 of it. They're going to give you $25,000 to trade with plus a $100,000 margin. And all you got to do, it's $800 plus a $99 platform fee. This is a $600 discount off of their normal pricing. If you were to go over their normal website, it'd be $1,400 plus that $99 platform fee. The reason they're giving a discount to you guys is because, again, they're assuming that if you're here, part of Stocks to Trade, watching these videos, you're more likely to find success. So they're taking a bet on you that you're going to be more prepared than the average trader who walks through their doors and have a better chance of success. So they'll give you a better deal on Trade Funder than the average trader is going to pay. Think about like a deposit into your account, right? You're putting in $800 to get access to $25,000 worth of capital to trade. Really, in my opinion, it is a pretty awesome deal. And I say this every time. I'm not going to sit here and call this the perfect solution for any trader. If you're a swing trader, this probably isn't for you. This is a day trading account. If you are a home run swinger, you lose 99% of the time, but you make one good trade once a year. Also, probably not for you. They're looking for consistent traders who are looking to do this and take this like a real job or a real side hustle. But you can go ahead and click on the link. You'll find all the details. Again, I'm not going to go through each and every rule, but you can go and just click on each of the drop downs when you hit that link. I always say this because to me, it's so true. I wish I had access to this when I first started trading, not because I necessarily needed $25,000 to trade with, but because two things. I needed more money than I had to trade with. And second of all, you can freely trade. You're over the PDT rule. You don't have to worry about taking 1 or 3 trades a week. You don't need to worry about any of that crap, which, let's be honest, it sucks. And I know everyone's like, oh, they're getting rid of the PDT rule soon. First of all, it's still probably about 6 months away. If I had to guess, probably anywhere between 4 and 8 months, but call it 6. It's still going to be a while. And number 2, it doesn't solve the problem that you still don't have much money to trade with. Like even if you got a $2,000 or $3,000 account and you're able to actively trade, my average percent gain, I don't know exactly what it is, probably close to like 3%, maybe even a little bit less, but call it like 3%. That's all. You got to take a lot of trades to make real growth at that account size, at a smaller account size. So being able to not only actively trade, but also just have access to more money to trade when you're right. Not saying you got to use all 25 grand, but like, even if that means taking a $5,000 or $10,000 position, significantly helps. At least it has for me. And my having a bigger account size, it's a game changer. But this is why I'm here with you guys, letting you know this deal exists, letting you know that you should at least click the link and see if it makes sense for you. Not going to say it's your solution, but you won't know until you check it out. And if you have any like technical questions or any other questions for Trade Funder, shoot them an email right here at their support email. It's down at the bottom of the page. They'll get back to you instantly. And speaking of instantly, when you click that link, if you're looking for a funded stock trading account through Trade Funder, you just click on this button right here, get your funded stock account now. Literally get started in less than 90 seconds. I know traders who get signed up with Trade Funder and they're ready to go, like taking trades within a matter of minutes. Sometimes if it's a busier day, it might take them a little bit longer to process everything, but regardless, you should be set up by the end of the day. You should be able to take trades today. So really awesome. And by the way, I get asked all the time, how long is the evaluation? There is no evaluation. This is your account. Now think of this like your starter account, right? I know traders that work with Trade Funder that have been on this stream. Once you make enough money, they're actually going to reach out to you and ask if you want access to a bigger account, $100,000 account with maybe $400,000 of margin, right? But it really is, as you grow, they're there to grow with you. They're in this for the long haul. And you can, listen, that doesn't mean you necessarily need to be trading in the long haul. If your goal here is just to make enough money to get your own account over the PDT, great. But if this is something that you want to do like I do and have it as a separate account where I can use this for particular strategies that I trade it's awesome. It kind of helps separate the strategies I trade. So I've got an account for short selling. I've got an account for swing trading. I've got an account for day trading, longs. That's how I personally use it. But however you want to use it, really completely up to you. I just think it's an awesome opportunity to check out. That's why I'm here talking about it. Hopefully, I built up some rapport with you guys by now. I would only let you guys know about this if it's something that I would use myself, and I do use it. If I actually thought it was an awesome deal, and I do. I'm actually happy to be friends with the Trade Funder team, and I do think it's a great solution. So again, only you're going to know that if you go ahead and click on that link. I'll drop it for you guys one more time in the chat. It's also in the description of this YouTube video. So if you're on YouTube, you can just go over to the description of this video, and it will be there as well. But guys, that's really all I've got for today. I got stopped out of FRGT. It is what it is. Small losses happen. And again, we also talked about this daily chart not being phenomenal, so we knew that risk going into it. But ladies and gents, I hope you guys are all having a great day. I'll be back with you guys here tomorrow. Oh, and by the way, I thought I saw a question here earlier. Let's see. Where was it? Yeah. Tech said Tech Degenerate said it's great to have multiple accounts. I completely agree. And the last thing I'll say about Trade Funder to that regard is if you're under PDT right now, let's say you got like a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 account, right? Maybe what you do is you still keep that account for your swing trades or some other trades, right? I don't know, whatever floats your boat. You keep that account for some trades, but you take like $800 out of it to fund a Trade Funder account. So now you got two trading accounts. You got one small account that you can take swing trades on. I don't know, maybe you can short sell your account. I don't know your account situation. And then you've also got Trade Funder for these types of trades. Really, whatever works best for you. But anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you guys are all having a great day. Once again, I just wanted to make sure that you guys are ready to go. And again, keep an eye, I think, still on SGBX. Even though FRGT failed, SGBX were holding up over low a day. This is probably going to be a better afternoon trade if I had to suspect. We're holding up right kind of at VWAP here. But keep an eye on it at the very least. It's definitely worthy, I think, of keeping an eye on. But I'll be talking to you guys back here tomorrow. So trade safe, trade smart. For those of you guys getting signed up with Trade Funder right now, if SGBX does set up for an afternoon breakout, you'll be ready to trade it with Trade Funder by the time it sets up, in my opinion. So, ladies and gents, I hope you guys are all having a great day once again. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, everyone.